Arts integration. We will be discussing the importance of integrating art into common core classes and why it's important. What is art? Art is the expression of human creative skill and imagination, typically in dance, music, theater, or a visual form such as drawing, painting, or sculpture. As Edgar Degas once said, art is not what you see, but what you make others see. That is important to think about as we go through this discussion about why integrating arts is important. What is arts integration? Arts integration is an approach to teaching in which students construct and demonstrate understanding through an art form. So basically, arts integration is using core classes like math, science, reading, writing, and integrating an art form into that core lesson. Students engage in a creative process which connects an art form and another subject area and meets evolving objectives in both. So they're meeting objectives in art as well as math, reading, science, writing, and all that. Why do we integrate arts? Why should we integrate arts? Arts integration is highly effective in engaging and motivating students. As a student myself, I enjoy hands-on education, getting my hands dirty, getting in and actually participating with my hands or in a group or anything like that. With arts integration, students have the opportunity to learn a math topic while integrating art into it. So basically, if they're doing fractions, using pie art, how to divide the fractions into a pie and use art to develop on that side. Arts integration is also a rich array of art skills and intellectual processes provide multiple entry points for students, to approach content in other subject areas. Also, it enlivens the teaching and learning experience for entire school communities. Art is a very exciting subject. It gives students the opportunity to express themselves. It gives students the opportunity to be creative and think outside of the box, and that ultimately makes the teaching and learning experience so much more exciting. As Confucius once said, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And this goes along with the hands-on portion of why integrating arts is important. Because if you hear something, yeah, great. If you see it, you remember it a little bit better. If you do it, you finally understand and comprehend what's going on. Arts integration promotes higher retention. This goes along with the I do, I understand. The more we integrate art, the more retention levels students will have. The arts also provide students multiple modes for demonstrating learning and competency. So it allows them to express, and be creative with what they've learned rather than just, adding a fraction on a piece of paper. Integrating arts allows them to show us creativity as well as their competency for the subject matter. Again, another slide here for why integrating art. When you engage hands-on and you are creating your own learning, you are deepening your level of understanding about a specific topic. This was said by Judy Klima, who was a 4th grade teacher in Arizona. And ultimately, I agree with her. When you're integrating arts and students are learning hands-on and they're being creative in their own learning, their level of understanding is so much higher, their level of retention is so much higher. The arts also boost academic achievement as well as promote creativity, self-confidence, and school pride. When you allow a student to be confident or to show their school pride through an artistic experience, their creativity soars, their academic achievement soars, and this has all been shown through some research processes. Here is one of those. In a large school district in Mesa, Arizona, 15 schools that implemented arts integration school-wide. These were mostly in Title I schools. They outperformed the district average. So as you can see, it's a little blurry there on the bottom, but in math, reading, and writing, the blue portion there are the 15 schools that implemented arts integration, and those are the test scores, and the district average is there in the green. So as you can see, implementing arts integration it stimulates the brain, fosters communication, and it ultimately boosts academic achievement. In that same research, students in art integration classrooms tested from 7 to 15% higher in all tested subjects, regardless of the demographic group of students tested. So ultimately, in reading, math, writing, those types of things, you can see that students who are involved in those arts integration classrooms, their test scores in the red there are 7 to 15% higher. That there alone is a good reason to integrate art into all subjects. Here's some great quotes that I found involving the integration of arts, and these are just things that you listen to them, and it makes you think, why are we not integrating arts? Why is this just now coming into question within the last few years? By Maxine Greene, the arts, it has been said, cannot change the world, but they can change human beings who might change the world. When Winston Churchill was asked to cut arts funding in favor of the war effort, he simply replied, "Then what are we fighting for?" This one here hits me so deep. They're wanting to cut arts funding to help with war efforts, and I mean, I know this was a long time ago, but this is the same thing now. They're cutting arts funding for other things. What are we fighting for if we don't allow students to be creative in their learning process? Arts integration allows us to build chefs who make choices, not cooks who merely follow the recipe. This was said by Susan Riley, and you know what? This speaks so many volumes for what art can do for a student's thinking process and education. Gavin Newsom said, "An arts education helps build academic skills and increase academic performance, while also providing alternative opportunities to reward the skills of children who learn differently." This one is great too, because all children learn differently. So when you integrate arts, it allows them to learn the topic themselves and be creative in how they learn it differently themselves. Again, speaks volumes to why we should be integrating arts into our education system. An example of an arts integration unit and lesson plans. There's a unit on desert organisms, learning about animals, plants, so and so, on and on. Lesson 1, they could learn about desert animals, research desert animals, what types, rattlesnakes, coyotes, cactus wrens, scorpions, and all of their internal and external structures, whether it be reproductive, bone structures, how many legs, how many tail, what kind of tail they have, and then they draw or paint a diagram of that animal and their internal and external structures. Lesson 2, you could go in and research desert plants, as in a saguaro cactus, a Joshua tree, a yucca plant, and integrate music into that, to where the students create a song about this desert plant using a popular nursery rhyme. Lesson 3, desert animal senses. Of course, we know all animals have different senses, have the same senses, but use them in a different capacity. For instance, snakes smell with their tongues rather than a nose. And I integrated theater with this lesson. Create a drama performance showcasing a desert animal's different senses. I think this gets the students up and moving, allows them to use their bodies to depict and show how animals use their senses to survive, to find food, and so on. Thank you for listening, and I hope this makes you think about arts integration and why we should be integrating arts, because ultimately I feel that without arts integration, our test levels will remain low, And ultimately, that's what we need. We need our students to learn, and we need our test scores to boost so that these students can succeed in high school and in college and so on. Thank you.